Looks like you're live now.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. Hey everyone, it's Angelica Allen here. I am a wellness and lifestyle coach, and I'm here today with Adam Fiore, who is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to hear all about his story. And I invited Adam here because, yeah, I love it. Hey everyone, it's Angelica Allen here. I am a wellness and lifestyle coach. Oh, there is a. I'm here today with Adam Fiore, who is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to hear all about his story. And I invited Adam. There is an echo. Yeah, I love it. We're gonna have to start again. I don't know why there is an echo.
Okay.
Maybe if I just wait a second, I have an idea. Let me just close this. Okay. Okay. That's good.
Okay. Start all over.
I've just got rid of the echo. Also, I'm going to start again. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Adam. How are you? I'm just going to go straight into it.
Great.
How's it going?
Great.
Thank you so much for coming to my channel. It's a pleasure, and I feel very blessed that you said yes to sharing your story. I've been watching you for a little while now, and I feel like you're doing the uncommon, and I think that it's so amazing and so incredible for you to share this with the world, because sometimes we feel like when we are in the middle of a health challenge that we don't have options, and you are showing the world that we do have options. So I'll let you take from here and talk a little bit about, how did you get here? But hello, how are you? Where are you connecting from?
Yeah, so I'm in the Philadelphia area in the United States, and thank you for having me, because it's always actually nice to have a platform to reach new people other than the people that maybe I'm reaching on my own. I always feel like it's great to reach new people, meet new people like you. So thank you for sharing your audience with me, and for reaching out, and I've had a chance to check out your what you do, and it's great. So I'm a fan of yours, and I appreciate getting a chance to speak with you. As far as, if would you like me to get into kind of a little bit of my backstory? Sure. So the basic backstory is I'm 52 years old. I've always been a bit of a health nut, so to speak. I joined the Navy right after high school, and just had a chance to, with boot camp and just I got really into physical fitness, and that included everything from experimenting with things like martial arts and boxing, a lot of weightlifting. Always enjoyed playing team sports as well, and running. I actually really enjoy sprinting as well. So really a variety of different types of yoga, and just a variety of different types of exercises that I've really tried throwing myself into. And what I've done is I've always kind of taken something that I liked, like say yoga or boxing, and kind of created my own workout. I've never been really good at just following the program. So I kind of take bits and pieces that I like, and I always create my own workouts, and I've always done that. What happened was the big change with me was last year at the age of 51. Literally right after the whole world shut down because of the pandemic. I had I had an appointment right before the world shut down. So I had an appointment with my doctor when we could still see doctors, and he had written a script for some blood work. And bottom line is, I've always been like his healthiest patient. I'm like pretty much had the blood pressure, cholesterol, all that type of thing of literally like a 25-year-old,
Yeah.
And he was really concerned though, because he got my blood work and he said, your blood sugars are really high, like they're diabetic level, high. And I don't understand why. So we had a follow-up telehealth appointment at that point. And then eventually I had to go in and see an endocrinologist, and have a CAT scan of my pancreas, and because they figured I have diabetes, and sure enough, I was diagnosed with what's referred to as latent adult onset diabetes presenting as type 1, which a lot of people are really kind of surprised at.
Yeah.
Type 1 at 52, 51 years old, but that's what it was. So
Can I
the
just
interesting,
ask you a question? Because I know that this is becoming a little bit of a trend, isn't it? There's a lot of people being diagnosed with this, um, the diabetes, the late diabetes, but normally it's the type 2, right? Like what does it,
right,
what does
right.
it, what did it make them diagnose you to, as type 1?
Um, I couldn't tell you from a clinical standpoint, but my
Yeah.
understanding of it is that um, I don't present with any of the risk factors
Oh,
for type 2 diabetes, I
okay.
believe. And it's more of it's presents as type 1 because my pancreas is compromised and
Okay.
it's not making enough insulin.
Okay.
Now it's funny. I've had a few type 1 diabetics reach out to me and say, if you were type 1 diabetic, truly you would have to be on insulin, because I'm not on insulin. And they would say you'd have to be on insulin. And in a way, they're right. A true type 1 diabetic,
Yeah.
um, their body doesn't make any insulin. If your body doesn't make any insulin and you don't take
You need
insulin,
it.
you'll die, right? So, but my situation is such that my pancreas doesn't make enough insulin. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's what I was diagnosed as. Um, it came as a bit of a shock. The endocrinologist said to my wife and I, we were in the appointment together, and the endocrinologist said, basically, I'm going to put this device, which I don't know if you can see, but I have this,
Yeah.
it's a continuous glucose monitor. It's called a Freestyle Libre.
Is it,
And
uh just on the surface, or is it
there's a little subcutaneous needle that's
okay?
in there all the time. And what it does is it allows me to use my phone and just take readings and know, I can know every hour if I want what my blood sugar level is.
Yeah.
Okay. So he put this in my arm on the very first appointment. And he said, I want you to wear it for 2 weeks, take the readings. The readings will automatically get transmitted to me. He said, and in 2 weeks, we'll decide what type of insulin therapy you're going to start. You'll either start a short acting insulin, in which case you might take it like once or twice a day, I think, or something like that, or before every meal, I forget, or a long acting insulin, which I think is once a day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he said, so yeah, anyway, but I'll never forget. And we got in the car and I said to my wife, I said, not necessarily. I was like, I'm not sold on the fact that I absolutely have to start insulin.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, you have to do, if the doctor tells you, you have to do what's
Yeah.
safe and everything else. And I said, look, I have 2 weeks. So I'm going to take these 2 weeks. And so basically what I did was I learned a lot about myself. What's funny is I've always, again, I think people considered me to be in really good shape. It was mainly because I worked out a lot, but my diet was not great. I thought
I
it
was
was pretty
just
good.
about to ask you that.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was your diet like before?
Well, I mean, before I ate a lot of healthy foods,
Yeah.
but I also ate a lot of sugar. I got a lot of sugar, through things like fruit. And then I also have a sweet tooth, and I would have like dessert type sugar too, ice cream and cupcakes and things like that. Right. I figured I could do it because I worked out and I was thin and I was, I could afford to do it. So anyway, so the funny thing is I decided to try a keto diet, that might be the best. I read up on it, and I
Yeah.
figure if I eliminate a lot of carbs and really eliminate sugar and eat a lot of protein and fats, maybe that would lower my blood sugar. So
Yeah.
I didn't do, and I still don't do a full like official keto diet, in that I don't even check to see if my body's in a state of ketosis. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything to me. I don't really care about that. All I care about is the following what I call a modified keto diet, very similar to a keto diet. And all I care is that my blood sugar levels
Yeah.
are regulated, right? So I did that for the 2 weeks. And I also put myself on a new exercise program that I thought would be a little bit more in line with what I needed. I don't know, whatever that means. And anyway, the bottom line is I went back in 2 weeks, and my blood sugar levels had regulated. What that means is they had gone from being up in like the 200 plus level to an average of about 120 when I went back there to see him. They went back to about an average of about 120. When they spiked, they would get up to maybe like 150 or 160, which isn't that bad because it's a short spike. And I generally stayed in between, for the most part, 100 and 150 with an average about 120. And my doctor said, my endocrinologist said, okay, you know what? He said, this is good. He said, I'm going to suggest we don't start insulin. You don't need any medication, but let's keep a close eye on this because sometimes this is like a honeymoon phase type thing where it's you can do this by yourself for a month or two, and then it just spikes up. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward, for the sake of time, but the bottom line is, as I started to really refine the diet more, figure out better ways to get protein and healthy fats and eliminate sugar. I do almost no sugar. I eat no fruits at all. I no bread, no pasta, no rice, not I basically eat a lot of lean meats like chicken and turkey and pork, fish, and eggs. Mostly egg whites, but I throw in the occasional yolk when I want to or whatever. So that's how I get all my protein and my fats and everything.
And vegetables? Do you eat a lot of vegetables?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I can't eat all vegetables, but the ones I can eat, I eat broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. And the way I really sneak my vegetables in is I eat baby spinach, just regular, not cooked, just regular baby spinach. And I have it with everything. I have 3 protein shakes a day, and baby spinach is in every single one of them. I put it in my eggs. I have it with my turkey and my chicken. I mean, I eat baby spinach literally like 5 or 6 times per day, maybe even 7. So I'm eating a lot of meals. I eat like every couple hours. Sometimes people see me because I lost about 12 or 13 pounds after I started this keto diet. And I'm very lean. I have a lot of muscle, but I'm definitely really lean. And when people see me, they just kind of assume that I don't eat a lot, or maybe I do like intermittent fasting or something like that. But the truth is, I eat more calories now than I did before. I'm eating at least 2,500 calories a day, if not more. And I'm eating like every 2 to 3 hours a day. But when you do keto, you just burn a lot of fat. I don't know how else to say it, but
I think also the same to me. Like I since I after my cancer journey, I just a little bit different than you. I only eat I eat a plant-based diet, so I do eat fruits, but still I don't eat pasta or rice. If I eat rice, is like brown rice or but the amount of sugar that I eat, as in natural sugar, I don't eat any refined sugar. I always think about it. I don't sit down and eat a whole bag of dates, for example. Like if I eat a date, it's like 1 or 2 days. Does that make sense? Like because obviously sugar is whatever sugar it is. We need sugar, obviously not. In your case, because obviously your body's not producing insulin, but like as soon as I changed from stop eating any processed food to eating everything that came from nature. I just lost like 5 kilos like that. And like yourself, I eat all the time, and I eat a lot. I eat at breakfast, I eat a morning tea, I eat lunch, I eat an afternoon tea, I eat dinner. I'm always eating. And I exercise as well, probably not as much as you. I had gestational diabetes, so I know exactly what I had to monitor my blood. And I actually was put on metformin, which was a horrible medication because I had a baby inside me, and my baby was growing like crazy. Like they said, if you leave the baby inside you, she's gonna get to 5. At that time, I didn't know it was a she, but the baby's gonna get to 5.5 kgs, which I couldn't physically carry a baby like that. And then she was taken 2 weeks earlier, and she was already born with 3.2 kgs. So I know what that, and I remember the nurse telling me, like, okay, well, you have a spike after your breakfast. What are you having for breakfast? And at the time, I thought I eat healthily as well. I eat too much sugar. I think what people don't realize is that for you not to eat sugar, when I talk about especially like processed sugar, that comes with breads and pasta
Mhm.
and all that, you actually have to make an enormous amount of effort because everything has sugar in
That's
it,
right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And like I said, you thought I'm working out, I can eat sugar, right?
It's no, you're absolutely right. I mean, even I've had to go out and find protein powders that don't have any sugar, which is
I bet it was
great.
so hard.
Yeah, yeah, but once you do, I mean, I could tell you that I literally the only sugar I really get is in some peanut butter. Um and very little else. I mean, I this is going to sound crazy to you, but it's true. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about just sugar, period. I probably have less than 5 grams of sugar per day.
Yeah.
So I really, really keep it low. And what I'll tell you is really interesting. I mean, obviously a health or yeah, from a physical standpoint, what it looks like in the mirror, it's great. I mean, you love the results when you give up sugar. I tell people that physical results, when you see like a 6 pack or, like a really muscular physique,
Yeah.
that's 90% diet, literally, and
Yeah.
10% working out. And that's the
Totally
truth.
agree.
Yeah. But the really interesting thing with sugar that I noticed, it probably took a couple of months, and at least maybe 2, 3 months. And one day I was driving around and I realized that my my mind was so much clearer than it
Yeah.
used to be. When you stop eating sugar, you don't notice it right away, but eventually
Yeah.
it is literally like a fog is like lifted from your head, and
Mhm.
it makes you say to yourself, like, if they came with a cure to diabetes, I would still not eat sugar. I mean, I would probably have the occasional donut or cupcake because I do like that stuff. So the occasional, and I have pretty good willpower, so I could do that. But for the most part, I would keep the same diet I have
Yeah.
now because I love how it feels
Yeah.
to not have sugar. I think sugar is probably the worst thing we can put in our body. I really believe
Totally.
that.
Totally agree. And I think that, like I say, it takes 2 weeks because people don't realize sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Research has shown that. And
Yeah,
on top of that, it takes our bodies at least 2 weeks to get to detox from that.
right.
And
That's
this
right.
is why it takes a couple of weeks because your body's actually detoxing from that. And the thing is, like the same as you, I was seen as the healthiest friend out of my, when I was diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer, they were like, what the heck, you, but we always cooked from scratch from home. But, we always ate well. But the reality is you have to make so much effort not to eat sugar. You
It's true.
have to, you have to just really focus. And and this is what I want to ask you. When you go back to, coming out of the doctor's office, your wife and you in the car, you know, people probably look and think, oh, that was easy for him to decide that. I want you to talk people through, how easy was it? And I know it wasn't, for you to go, I'm gonna have this device and I'm gonna investigate, a different diet. I'm gonna, were you working? Were you, did you stop working for 2 weeks so you could, what was the mindset? What was the motivation or your why to just go, I'm gonna do this?
Well, the truth is that that is a very hard that is a trait that not everybody has, just naturally, that they have to develop. And it can be very hard for people to, I think some people hear news like that, like they have, you have diabetes or whatever the illness or disease may be, and they really, the anxiety kicks in and they really start to worry a lot and that type of thing. And that can sometimes, and you can't help it, but that can sometimes be counterproductive as far as trying to have an attitude that you're going to beat this and you really believe it. I'm very fortunate. I've always been this way. Nothing changed. So in other words, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, and the people who know me for a long time they always say, I knew you were going to do exactly what you did. When I heard you
The
had diabetes.
opposite of everybody else.
Yeah, well, and just, I'm somebody who definitely really enjoys a challenge. I'm
Yeah.
somebody who likes to, I like to have a platform to, I really like to try to inspire people.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do it before I was diagnosed with diabetes. I got diagnosed with diabetes, and to be completely honest with you, this might sound a little bit morbid, but the truth is, my attitude was, you know what, if this is a disease that's going to kill me, it's going to kill me. I have an opportunity, and there's not much I can do about that. But what I can do is I'm going to use this as a platform while I have it, right? Here I was before I was diagnosed with diabetes, trying to inspire people to, to get into better shape, to take control of their health and everything. Well, now I have that much more power, actually, because I have this story to tell, and I'm going to use it. And that idea inspired, gave me actually gave me strength to really see this through and do it. So much so that I think it gave me the strength I needed to push through and to close the loop on basically what happened. Actually, I went back and saw my endocrinologist, I don't know, I guess a couple of months ago for a 9-month checkup. And he said, Adam, I've never seen anything like this with a patient ever. He said, your A1C level, which is really, I guess, the most important way that he said, your A1C level dropped from, I think, 7.2 to 5.8. He said, you're 5.8 now. He's like, you're totally healthy. He's like, and I've also lowered my blood sugar levels now to where the average is more like between 110 and 115. And, I, depending on if I cheat a little bit once in a while and have like a little piece of a donut or something like that, which actually does affect me for like sometimes a whole week. But, but generally I don't do that. And generally speaking, I have this under like a really tight control. So to close the loop, I mean, my endocrinologist basically said, I don't even need to see you every 3 months anymore. He's like, let's push it back to every 6 months and maybe even like once a year. Because, he said, you've got this under control. So I feel like I can do this for the rest of my life. I may not have to, because honestly, there's some pretty amazing research being done right now. And there's a lot of people who think that there will be a quote unquote cure or, something to manage diabetes, where literally they'll be able to reverse it basically, and so who knows,
with
maybe
medication.
I suppose, but not like medication you'd have to take like every day. I think it's more of like almost kind of, I don't know if it's a shot, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like they're on the cusp of some pretty cutting edge research, and they don't think diabetes is going to affect people, nobody knows how long, but I don't think 10 years from now anybody's gonna be walking around with diabetes. I really don't. I think they'll be able to pretty much have it completely managed, where everybody's kind of can have their sugars regulated. That's my thinking. But bottom line is, if they didn't, I could live like this for the rest of my life. I'm very comfortable in this routine. So I mean, so
with the exercise, like you mentioned that you change a bit, like that means like doing more cardio or doing more things to burn calories.
I don't do any cardio unless you consider walking cardio. So I mean, which actually walking is cardio.
Exactly.
I walk outside for 15 to 30 minutes, or if it's not nice outside, I'll walk on a treadmill for 15 to 30 minutes. I try to do that every day. Other than that, I don't do any high intensity. I don't run. I don't bike. I like to swim in the summertime. So I get more exercise then. I'd love to stand up paddleboard and surf. So that's like a big exercise for me. But other than water sports, pretty much for me, it's just walking and lifting weights.
Amazing.
I used to do all kinds of crazy high intensity exercise. And the ironic thing, and I'm not knocking it, I'm really not, because it's good, but the truth is that I've learned that when you're eating a really great diet, when it comes to exercise, less is more. I lift weights for 30 to 45 minutes in the gym every day. I walk outside for like I said, 15 to 30 minutes. Sometimes I do a little bit of shadow boxing for like 10 minutes. That's it. And I'm getting better results than I've ever got. People, my favorite is when like an internet troll or somebody like that will come on, will hop on, like, on Facebook
On
or
your
whatever,
post, yeah.
and accuse me, somebody who doesn't know me, and
Yeah.
accuse me that I'm taking steroids. And that's,
Oh,
to me, that's the best.
oh
I'm like,
no.
it's like the ultimate compliment. You're telling me that I look very muscular. I appreciate that. I don't know who takes steroids and loses 12 pounds like I did, but it's just funny. But yeah, so like I said, getting better results than ever at 52 years old.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It
I
really is.
think that's
It's a
amazing.
lot of fun.
And now emotionally, like, do you think that there was, anything that impacted on getting this diagnosed, like stress or anything like that, did you change anything around that too, or?
I definitely, well, first of all, I definitely felt some stress when it happened. One of the things that my wife noticed was I was I was almost putting too much pressure on myself. In other
Yeah,
words, I was kind of acting like this is no big deal. I got this, and at the end of the day, it is a big
it
deal.
is a big deal.
It is a big deal, and sometimes you have to admit that to yourself,
Yeah,
and let yourself feel down, for a day or two or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, so there was stress, but again, I feel like sometimes it's kind of like the expression, sometimes you have to fake it until you make it.
yeah,
um I think that even if you have to fake it a little bit, kind of putting on a brave face, a happy face, not letting anything stop you, and that you're going to still go to the gym and that you're going to still work and everything else, even if you have to fake that a little bit, I think that's better than the alternative of allowing yourself to get into a spiral,
yeah,
get into a funk, which can be very hard to get out of,
yeah,
and which is bad for your health. I mean, even if you're faking the fact that you have a lot of energy and you're doing a lot of things, at the end of the day, you can trick your mind, and it's actually good for your body to
yeah,
feel that way, to feel like you can do this and you have energy. So
yeah,
yeah, that was kind of my attitude when I was first diagnosed, was I'm just going to do this. I'm going to push
yeah.
through it. Um, but there was some stress for sure. Yeah.
And would you say, was there like stress in your life, like in your, like work life, and what, before, like leading, because sometimes those chronic diseases, they, when they look at it, there's lots of research that shows that stress, we can trigger things, right? Like,
Yeah.
would you say
Yeah.
that now you kind of take things a little bit different, as well? Like,
That's a good question. I would say that I wouldn't say that I had a very high stress,
personality.
lifestyle, or yeah, before I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
And since I've been diagnosed, I mean, there was stress of, being an entrepreneur, bringing in money, and then having COVID happen. I mean, I think there was more stress over COVID than there was about, actually, I can tell you for sure, there was a lot more stress about COVID and the impact on my business than there was about diabetes and the impact on my health. Although the two of them, I'm sure, kind of work
Yeah.
together a bit. But yeah, I mean, these days I have to say, I'm feeling, not feeling too much stress, feeling good about work and family and health. And what else? That's pretty much everything.
I know. That's it. That's it. And I think like the diet plays a big part as well, doesn't it? Like on your mental and emotion, I think that's what people don't realize as well. Like when you're eating too much carbs and sugar and processed food, if you've got a reason to be stressed, it's very easy to stay in that stress mode because you're actually putting a lot of stress on your physical body, trying
Yeah,
to keep up with all of the that rubbish that you're putting in, right? So
that's right.
so I think that once you start eating healthily, you just like clear your emotional, your mental state, and it's easier to kind of work out, day to day, like deal with things and react to things differently, and exercise definitely as well.
Yes, yeah, and you sleep better. I just think that the other thing with me is, because of what I can and can't eat and drink, I pretty much gave up alcohol too. I'll have the occasional vodka because vodka doesn't have any sugar in it. But I had to give up beer, I had to give up wine, and that was probably one of the hardest things, just because as social creatures, and I'm very social, you know, it's I enjoyed drinking and drinking with people. It was more about I wasn't somebody who would drink by myself, but
Yeah.
but I enjoy drinking with other people, my wife, our friends, and our family. So that's a hard part, but you know what? You get used to it. I mean, it's like now, now I'll have like a seltzer or an espresso while, and I make sure to consciously still be the same person I was when I was drinking. And what I mean by that is, you know, if I was the life of the party type of person before when I was drinking, I make sure that I still want to do the same kind of,
Yeah.
goofy, fun things and have a really fun time without drinking, because
Yeah.
it's, that drinking shouldn't be like a prerequisite to have fun. You should be able to have fun whether, but I was a little concerned about that. That's worked out really well. And what I will say is when you eat the clean diet and you're not drinking as well, you sleep better.
Yeah.
You make better decisions. There's a whole
Yeah.
there's a whole thing to just really living a clean lifestyle. Some people think it sounds really boring,
Yeah.
but when you actually do it, it feels amazing. And who
Yeah.
wouldn't want to feel amazing? I
Yeah,
mean, who wouldn't
exactly.
want, looking amazing is great. It's great to have good results that look great, but
Yeah.
honestly, feeling amazing, that's even better. I mean, and I honestly I feel badly for people who don't know what that feels like anymore. Maybe
Yeah.
haven't known what that feels like since they were in their 20s.
Oh
What
my
it
God.
feels
Yeah.
like to just feel amazing, to wake
Yeah.
up and feel amazing. That's what I want to help people with. I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to have a muscular physique as well, that's great. I want to help you
Yeah.
do that too. But more important than anything, I want you to feel great.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, I want you to feel amazing. I want you to feel, if you're in your 50s like me, I want you to look and feel like you're in your 20s. And
Yeah.
people who think that that's impossible, it's not.
It's
It's really
not.
not.
Yeah, I saw your post about define what aging is, for you, and I think that was so like I remember, and it just really made me think about myself. Like before cancer, the same. I used to drink, eat too much sugar and all the rest of it, and especially the drinking. I would say I was definitely capable to drinking, like with my husband, like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Before you know, you're having too much, right?
Right.
And before that, before kids, I would say I was like a serial binge drinker.
Right.
And like so really, like all of those years of 15 years of drinking, has taken a toll on my body. And I think that's, like I said, this link that we, our society, fun can only be if you're drunk or if you're drinking.
Right.
It's really not a healthy I think link that we have, right? Because I don't drink anymore. And so many people ask me, at the end of my chemotherapy, are you going to have a drink to celebrate? Are you going to have a drink to celebrate? And for me, I kind of looked at it and thinking, oh my goodness, like my liver has worked so hard for me to detox from that 12 sessions of chemotherapy. Why would I, why would I poison it? Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got such a big respect for my body these days that it is, people can look from the outside and say like, oh, but you have no joy. I have so, like I said, I wake up, I have so much energy. I sleep so well. I am so much happier, and I feel so much fulfilled because of all the little things that I have done in my health. And I think, we accept. I remember before cancer, just before cancer, now I look at my legs and I thought, oh, I'm getting really like old, like my legs are getting, and then now just because I changed my diet for my health, not for what I'm gonna look like. And I look at my legs and I thought, oh, it's all gone. Like they're back at like they're much better than when I was 20.
Right.
And like I said, it is possible, but we accept, what everybody, we accept, oh, I'm just gonna get, I know I'm just getting old, I'm just getting less energy, or I'm just now need to be on one prescription, or I'm just need another two, and then before you know, the average of like, I think Americans, they're taking like between, I think it's 55, they're on 6 prescriptions a day.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
That is insane.
It is. It is. I'll tell you something funny. You made me think of it when you were talking about, having a drink at a party or whatever. So what I noticed that's really funny is that when back before I was diagnosed and when I was drinking, I'd have a bunch of beers and some wine or whatever I was drinking when we would have people over, and I'd be in a conversation with a friend of mine. And the funny thing, and I had a reputation for this, would be, after several drinks, I could be sitting on a couch talking to a friend, and they're telling me a story, and I'm literally, my eyes are like shutting, like I'm falling asleep, because that's what alcohol does, at least to me, is after a while, I start getting really tired, right? And so what I noticed when I stopped drinking was, it wasn't intentional. One time, it was early on, and we had company over, and I was like, wow, I really wish I could have a drink with everybody. And I said, well, I can't have a drink, but let me make myself an espresso. So I made myself an espresso. And the next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I'm buzzing around. I'm having these incredible conversations, right? And I thought of it as I was talking to my best friend, sitting on the couch, and we're having this great conversation, and we're vibing off each other, all these ideas and everything. And I said to him, I was like, do you remember how I used to always fall asleep whenever you'd be talking to me? I said, this is great. I said, I think it feels so much, for me, I feel so much better getting the buzz from an espresso when I'm in a social situation and everything than the buzz that I used to get from alcohol. But I used to think it felt great, but now I realize that why would I want to dull my senses and feel tired? I don't know. It's like, it's to me, and I don't do a lot of caffeine either. I do maybe one at least, and sometimes two espressos, the little ones. And, but it's just enough, a little shot. And that to me, and again, I would have never discovered that if it wasn't for diabetes. So I'm almost like grateful. This sounds so crazy, but I've said this to other people. In some crazy ways, I am really grateful that I was diagnosed with diabetes. And that sounds nuts. But if I hadn't have been, nothing would have changed. I would still be eating a ton of sugar. I would still be drinking, lots of alcohol. I'd still be living the same lifestyle. And I like this lifestyle so much more. I really do. So in that way, I'm truly grateful for the diagnosis. I guess it's easy to say because it's not affecting me negatively. I'm not having to do insulin shots and take medications. That's, but that's just
but it's not affecting you because you have done something about it and you took 100% responsibility. So it's not, I think, and this is the key. You said I think it's easy for me, but it's not, and it hasn't been, especially at the beginning when refining your diet. And it's maybe easy now because and it's still like, I think people, people look at you now and think like, oh, I know, he's got it all right, or he's got it all part, but they forget that you were working every single day, watching you know what I mean? Like it hasn't come easy. Like it wasn't easy,
Yeah, I so many people that got to know me more recently just assume that I was like this, one of the most muscular guys in my high school, for example. And I wasn't. I wasn't in bad shape. I was in decent shape, but I was, certainly not one of the most muscular guys in the school. Yeah. So it's almost more of a late bloomer type of thing. And like you said, but I worked hard for it, and it takes time. It didn't come naturally to me. I mean, it did a little bit, but it's basically. It was my 20s and my 30s, and then and it just kept getting better and better. I mean, it's crazy, but I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in better shape than I was when I was 25. And I was in good shape when I was 25. But it's consistency. If you're consistent and you stay on top of it, I plan on being in better shape when I'm 60 than I am right now.
Yeah.
Every year I'm using this. I'm using
new benchmark.
Yeah, I'm using aging as basically like a tool to just inspire people. I mean, I feel like, God, by the time I'm 70, I should be pretty much world famous, because I'm going to be like this guy who's 70 and is built like a teenager, and so I feel like 52 is almost still too young. Like people are like, 52, but as I get older, I
Yeah.
plan on just, really making people be like, all right, I got to find out how he's doing this. You know
How
what I
he,
mean? This
yes,
guy's,
definitely.
how is he doing this? And that's my goal. My goal is to make people stop and say, I got to find out how he's doing it so that
Yeah.
they can start doing it for themselves and enjoy what I'm enjoying.
So how can people reach out to you, and how can they find out, how they can do it themselves? I mean, well, how, would you like them to get in touch?
Sure, sure. So, well, first of all, it's very easy. We make it very easy. I have a site, adamfiore.com. It's very simple. You can go www.adamfiore.com, or you can just go adamfiore.com. You don't even need the www.
Yeah.
But that page will take you to basically, it's like a bio page, and it'll take you to everything that I'm doing right now. So again, if you want to know exactly, I created a course with my business partner. My business partner is a holistic psychotherapist out in Boston. Ironically, we met when she was a customer of a different course that I do. I also manage a portfolio of high growth tech stocks. It's done very, very well. We've crushed the S&P 500 since the portfolio, since I started managing it. And so we have this, it's called the Exponential Investors Club. And it's basically a subscription membership where people can follow what we're doing in the portfolio. And it's educational. They can, we're not trading for anybody. We're not touching anybody's money. We're
Yeah.
not giving anybody advice, but people can see what we're doing, learn from it, and then decide what they want to do. Anyway, we've got members now of the Exponential Investors Club in like 10 different countries around the world. And Karen, who's my business partner, she was one of my very first members of the club. And we got to know each other, and we realized that it would be perfect for us to go into business together and to do this health related course on redefining what aging and illness can look like and can feel like. Because so Karen's 48, she lives with lupus and suffers from pretty severe migraine headaches. And again, she looks younger, she feels younger, and then Karen, being a holistic psychotherapist, she's got this whole, she's helped me so much just with the mindset, the
Yeah.
meditation, the mindfulness, what you need, the discipline, right? To make changes in your life. So anyway, so basically, if you go to adamfiore.com, what you'll see a couple of different courses. And one of the courses is called a roadmap to redefine what aging and illness can look like. And if you click on that, you can kind of check it out. But basically, I can tell you what someone would get if they went into this course is they would get video modules on, first of all, everything that I eat. Literally, I eat the same thing every day with the exception of dinner. So it's a routine. Like I said, I'm ex-military, so I'm very good at that, and I like eating the same thing every day. And then my wife's a great cook. For dinner, I eat something different, But you will get literally a video of me preparing every single meal that I eat. I'll show you the ingredients. I'll show you where I buy them. And that includes the supplements that I take, which is really just, multivitamin, fish oil, and protein powder and things like that. Share all of that, where I get it, everything else. That's one module. Then you get the entire module on my workout, where you'll literally will get a video of every single exercise that I do. I'll explain it. I'll show it. And then and then you get all the same stuff with Karen. So if, let's say there was a woman in her 40s who really wants to look and feel, great, wants to redefine what aging illness looks like, doesn't necessarily want to look like me, right? Or, whatever the case may be, whatever that means. And so she could look, and she would get Karen, same thing. Karen details everything that she eats, her diet, details everything in her workout. She does a lot of yoga, for example. And, so you really get a nice mix of different things for different people. And you get the mindset piece, you get meditation techniques and things like that. So you get all of that in the course. And then, like I said, for anybody, this isn't really what we're talking about here, but if anybody was interested in basically, taking control of their financial future, learning more about how this course, the Exponential Investors Club, is basically about how someone like me who has no background whatsoever in finance. I was an English major in college. I've never worked in finance. I didn't study finance. And yet I fired my financial advisor in 2018. I self-educated. I taught myself the markets, and I became a tech stock investor. And like I said, since 2018, when we've started this portfolio, we've crushed the S&P 500 by triple digits. So it's, just basically a course on how I did it. And like I said, it gives people, if anybody wants to follow. So anybody who goes to adamfiore.com, you'll learn more about me. My whole bio's on there. My background's on there. And you can check out both courses. So I really appreciate just the opportunity to introduce it to people. And I appreciate you asking me about it.
I think it's amazing. And I'll add the details below as well, so they can, just go straight into your website and tag you, so people can get maybe straight to your profile as well. But but thank you so much for sharing your story. It's very, very inspiring. Keep doing what you're doing. I think the world needs to hear your message, because I think we definitely need to start redefining things that are pushed upon on us, and things that we think that is that we only have one path. And I think it's important to all of us to start creating our own path.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Angelica. One thing I always say to people is redefine what you think is possible. And if you really if you can do that, and it's easier said than done because it's really a mindset, but if you can redefine what you think is possible, you can literally bend reality. You can bend reality. People, to give you a business example, Elon Musk is someone who believes he can do anything, really believes that he can do anything. And his belief is so strong, and he's also incredibly intelligent, obviously, and innovative, but it's his belief. There's a lot of very intelligent people. His belief is so strong that he does bend reality, and he redefines what is possible. So we can do that physically. And that's what I try to inspire people to do. And that's what I know, and you do as well. And I'm, really glad to be on this path with you, and I look forward to keeping in touch, and, would love to speak with you again anytime.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Namaste.
Namaste to you. Thank you so much. Take care. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
I've just stopped the recording. So thank you so much, Adam. It was beautiful.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really. Oh, actually.
Are we still on?
Oh.